Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Aliens Love Animals. My name is Sue, and my dog, is usually in my videos, but he's taking a break. He had a long day, so he didn't want to be on YouTube. So here's my cat Jeffrey. Say hi, Jeffrey. He's beautiful. Say hi. And if you're new to this channel, the premise is I'm someone who has always felt like an alien because so much about this planet and what goes on doesn't make any sense to me. And I like to vent and rant about certain things, primarily about veterinary medicine, animal rescue, because those are the things I'm involved with. And this is today's topic is somewhere along the lines of animals. It's about pet-friendly hotels. I'm researching right now places to stay for an upcoming trip, and I'm a seasoned traveler. I've driven cross country 20 times alone. I had a rescue transport that I transported dogs all across the country also, and to Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, New Mexico, all over the place. Anyways, I have done a lot of travel, and I've traveled always with animals with me. So I consider myself a bit of an expert when it comes to knowing what to look for in a pet-friendly hotel, and also what questions to ask. And you think it's pretty straightforward, right? Well, you go to a hotel, you ask if they accept pets. No, there's a lot more that you need to ask, because a lot of the fees and the policies are not voluntarily told to you, because I think once they are, you'll tend to go to another hotel. So before I start, I always forget to say this. I started this channel not because I want to be on YouTube, not because I love the way I look, the way I sound, or anything. I feel like I do have some information people might find valuable, and I also hope maybe many moons from now that I can monetize this channel, and all the money will go to helping my rescue grow, which is called Annie's Rescue Ride. So no further ado here. I'm going to have my list. I also don't know how to edit, so everything I say is it. There's no editing. If I make a mistake, oh well, that's the way it goes. So, again, first thing most people do is they call a hotel and they say, do you accept pets? And the answer is either yes or no. Now, if the answer is yes, believe it or not, there are a lot of people who just hang up and go, oh great, I can take Muffy on our trip, yay. Well, there's a lot more to it than just yes, we accept pets. So number one is, once I say yes, you have to ask, what is your pet policy? Once you find out they do accept pets. So some don't accept cats. Many don't allow any more than 2 dogs. Some only allow 1 dog. So you have to ask, do you allow dogs? If so, how many? Do you allow cats? The next thing is, what's the fee? Now, that's where things get really tricky. It's been a long time since I have had a hotel say there's no fee, and they're pet friendly. I know of one hotel in New Mexico that don't have any fee, which is amazing. I think Red Roof Inns don't set a fee, but I think that's changing. It's really hard to find a hotel that doesn't have a fee at all. And the fees range anywhere from, what I have found, anywhere from a low of $10 to a high of $75 and something else, which I'm going to get to. So you have to ask, what is the fee? Now you have to go further. Okay, is that per pet or is that per night? Because many hotels will say, yes, there's a $75 pet fee. But then you show up, you check in, and they see you have 2 dogs. Oh, yeah, sorry, it actually meant per pet. So now you're spending $150 for 2 dogs. So is there a pet fee? If so, what is it? And is it per pet or per night? The next question you need to ask is, in addition to the pet fee, is there a deposit? I just recently saw a hotel that said they were pet friendly and only charge $15 pet fee. Wow, that sounds really good. What they didn't tell you was, and it was in really small print, was there was a non-refundable $150 fee on top of the $15. Now, my theory is this. Why do hotels do this? Why do they say they're pet friendly and make all these outrageous fees? I think when you're labeled a pet friendly hotel, you tend to stick out and draw more people to you. But I don't consider you a pet-friendly hotel if you're charging a fee and then a non-deposit and your fees are outrageous. I tried to book a hotel. My fee would have been $65 a night, and my dog's fee was $75, which is ridiculous. He's a 5-pound Chihuahua. So those are the questions you have to ask. So now what is the fee per pet per night? Is there any non-refundable fee on top of that? Some hotels do a refundable fee if there's no damage to the room, but I find those tend to be rare. The other question you have to ask is, okay, great, are there room restrictions? Do I have to stay on a certain floor? Now, if they put you on the first floor, I know a lot of, especially women, maybe there's some men, they don't like staying on the first floor for safety's sake. And if you have a dog, you might be stuck on the first floor. I've known some hotels, they want you on the third floor. Why third floor? I have no idea. I know smoking hotels with smoking rooms are pretty rare now, but I think they still exist. I've been to hotels where they put pet owners in smoking rooms. I also know of hotels that if they're under renovations and they have some brand new rooms, they won't put you in the brand new rooms. If they have some older rooms left, they're gonna put you in the older rooms. So ask about room restrictions. Is there a certain floor? Am I gonna be stuck in a smoking room? All of that. So the other question is, do you have breed restrictions? I haven't found this to be the case in some hotels, but you really should ask because you don't want surprises when you show up at the hotel. Do they allow pit bulls? Do they allow shepherds or, a dog over 150 pounds? It doesn't even have to be about temperament. It might be they don't want a 150-pound dog in their room. So you have to ask those questions. A lot of this, if not all of it, is not voluntarily given to you because I think sometimes they want you to be stuck when you show up at the hotel, like, oh, well, you're going to have to hand over the big bucks. So there's that. The other thing, after asking all these questions, or maybe before you ask them, either ask for a manager or someone who has some authority. I have asked these questions and gotten the front desk person, and I go to find out that they gave me the incorrect information, and I was screwed. I would ask for a manager or someone who has some sort of authority to make sure they're giving you the right information. And along those lines, don't go by what is on the website. Many hotels do not update their website. And either way, they don't update it. Sometimes they've reduced their fees and forgot to update it. And there's some hotels that have increased their fees and forgot to update it. And also, I've seen some hotels that will accept pets, but their old website says they don't. So again, just call the hotel, talk to someone who has some authority, and don't trust the website. So that's another thing. And this is not along the lines of pet fees, but if you truly want a pet-friendly hotel and the fees they're charging are all great with you and all that, make sure it is actually a pet-friendly hotel. What I mean by that is make sure there's places to walk your dog or there's some green areas. I went to a hotel once where it was pet-friendly, the fee was reasonable, and there was absolutely nowhere to walk my dog. It was on a busy street in a city. There was no greenery. There was no bushes. It was terrible. It was really bad. So you might want to ask that question too. Is this truly a pet-friendly hotel? And this is a last tip I want to give you that's saying if you don't ask, the answer is always no. It can hurt to ask if they can waive the pet fee or reduce it. You can, if you're a senior citizen, if it's hard times for you, it's worth asking. Probably you won't be able to, but I have known some hotels to be pretty reasonable if you have a legitimate reason. Again, can't hurt to ask. Why not? And the other thing I wanted to mention is some of the the chains that I find are more pet friendly than others. Now, this is not a complete list. I'm completely just going by memory. I find the Choice hotels, the Comfort Inns, Days Inn, they tend to be more reasonable with their pet fees. Red Roof Inns are great. I think, though, they only have a one dog limit. La Quinta Inns used to be amazing, but their fees went way up when they were taken over by Wyndham, so they're not that great anymore. I find Hampton Inns, the Hilton chains, to be kind of outrageous with their fees. They tend to be at least $75 a night, or a stay. I don't believe it's a night. And weirdly, the really, really high end, the real expensive hotels, they tend to either not charge a fee or they're pretty reasonable. I found that kind of odd. Maybe because you're already paying top dollar, they're throwing that in as a perk. I don't know, but in my experience, the Choice hotels, Red Roofs, those hotels tend to be, and privately owned hotels and motels, they tend to be pretty good too. And everybody wants your business. You might say, hey, look, I have a reservation at the Hilton, but they're charging me $75. Can you do something with your fee? So you never know. So anyways, those are my tips. I hope they help. It's getting harder and harder out there for pet owners. I think the hotels find a way to make money, and that's a great way for them to do it. And I'm going to end on this note. Some people might say, hey, stop complaining about pet fees. It's the right of the hotel to charge you. It certainly is. But what I find kind of gross is the reason they give is because they do a deep clean of the room after you leave. And I have found that not to be true, because I've stayed in pet-friendly hotels with the pet room and they were filthy, and certain very clear evidence another dog was there. I've talked to housekeepers. They admit to me that they don't deep clean the rooms. And I actually reached out to a hotel executive, and he did admit that the whole deep clean reason is not the reason they charge the fee. I don't know, just a little pet peeve of mine. Again, this is what this channel is about. I'm venting. Just be honest. Say, hey, this is what we charge. Like it or leave it. You don't have to stay here. Don't give me this crap that you're deep cleaning the room, because you're kind of not. Anyways, that's it. That's my rant. The next video, Jimmy will definitely be in, but he's taking a nap. He had a real busy day. And if you're traveling, hit the road, have fun. And if you can't find a hotel, I've done car camping with my dog. It was kind of awesome. You can always stay in your car. Anyways, hope you found this helpful, and please subscribe and help this channel grow so I can help my rescue. Thank you. Peace out.